That question will be answered on November 19th, but to answer for you here right now, yes, he is. He's more than ready for Andre Ward. Well, the fight with Ward and Kovalev is a very interesting fight for the fans, and it's a fight that needs to be made, and it was made, and now it's going to happen November 19th. In Andre Ward, you have a very talented, slick boxer, undefeated as an amateur, which speaks for itself, and now as a professional, he's cleaned the division out of 168. Now it's time to move on up to light heavyweight. On the flip side of that, you have Sergey Kovalev, undefeated, unified light heavyweight champion of the world. It's an interesting fight for the fans. They deserve this one. Right now the betting line has it kind of even. I think Ward has a slight edge, but I believe come November 19th, Sergey Kovalev will only prove that he is the better fighter. He will be victorious that night. Most definitely. Listen, this fight here, we have to be better than we've been in all our other fights combined. Sergey has to become a more seasoned pro for this fight. He has to box better, cut the ring off better, execute better, and I have to formulate a game plan that allows him to do that. And I look forward to the task. This is the fight that I've wanted for a while, and the fans deserve to have it. Now it's here. And I think come November 19th, that Sergey Kovalev will definitely prove that he is the better fighter. Not in the least. Sergey could care less about records, if you can punch, if you can box. All he wants to do is prove he's the best light heavyweight in the world. And once he gets you in the ring, you have to prove it to him that you are better than him. And here's the thing that I tell most fans. When I was fighting, and I tell most fighters this, when another fighter signs a contract to go against you, then he's telling you personally he can beat you. So now Ward's telling Sergey, I'm the best. So now Sergey has to prove that he is the better fighter that night. And the fact that Ward's had 5-year layoff to a certain degree with maybe 4 fights in the last 5 years, he's been inactive. So he has a lot of rust on him, and the fights that he's had in the previous past fights to get ready for this fight have not gotten him ready for this battle here. No, that's why I said the last 4 fights he's had in the last 5 years have not prepared him for November 19th. While he's good at what he's done, the public should know that his best prime years are gone. From the time he was 27, he's 32 now. Those 5 years, you can't get him back. He says Ali did it. Well, Ali's Ali. Ali's a little different. Ali fought the best on the way back. He didn't fight a brand, and he didn't fight Barrera. He fought the best. He came out the gate fighting Oscar Bonavino, Jerry Corey on his comeback. These were no slouches. So Andre has a lot to prove. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking you for who you are and what you've done, but I'm knocking you for who you're going to fight. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best, and Sergey is the best right now. And I just don't, that's a tall order that I don't think he can fulfill. Well, in order to prepare Sergey mentally for this particular fight here, it doesn't take a lot because Sergey wants this fight. All he's heard about is how good Andre Ward is. He wants to prove everybody wrong. So for him, mentally, as well as physically, he's up for this fight. But for Sergey, this is what he strives for. He strives to be the best. In order to be the best, you have to beat the best. That's how the old saying goes, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to beat Andre Ward and prove he still is the best light heavyweight in the world.
No. As a matter of fact, I don't have a game plan for Berto. There's no such thing to me personally as a game plan in some situations, because a flaw with this guy could be a strength for the next one. So, when you have a person who's been honed with years of repetition, like Floyd, his processing ability is superior to most people. That's why he doesn't have to think about what he's doing. And everybody comes in with this plan while he stays true to who he is. And if you look at his training, he never changes anything. He never changes his mid work, he never changes his bag work, the shield, it doesn't matter. One training session looks like 1,000 more, so he never changes nothing, and people don't really get that. So what happens is they go in, all of a sudden they've had this successful athlete, and then they go in against who they consider the best, and then all of a sudden they come up with all these theories and ideas instead of just leaving him who he is and build from that. Everybody got strengths and weaknesses, but the one thing you can't do is deviate from that, where that fighter has to think about, oh, you showed me this, you showed me that. How come you didn't do this? Let him do whatever he does that you see him do, that you know he can do, that he doesn't have to think about, that he is reacting.
So it's obvious that Kovalev versus Ward is the biggest fight of November and possibly of the year. Now, there are countless ways to look at and analyze this fight. Obviously, everyone realizes that Kovalev punches much harder than Ward, and many believe Ward is a better boxer than Kovalev. So taking these basics into consideration, it's going to be interesting to see what the trainers do to prepare their guys. I know some people believe a trainer basically provides no value to the fight. Then on the other end, some believe a good trainer makes all the difference in the world. As for me, I'm just curious to hear your guys' thoughts to see what value or what game plan Virgil Hunter and John David Jackson will bring into this fight. Now we know there's obviously got to be a pretty big competition between Hunter and Jackson. We all saw in the Khan versus Chris Algieri fight that Algieri came in and he was actually alpha male in the fight. He was able to push Khan back, basically just outmuscle him, in my opinion. The fight was very close, and many thought Algieri may have actually won the fight, but Khan did end up getting the decision. But we heard Virgil Hunter saying that Jackson had Algieri fighting out of character, or you could say that Jackson actually outsmarted Hunter on that fight. Virgil never anticipated that Chris would come out and actually try and bully Khan the whole fight. And Khan, throughout the whole fight, seemed very confused. Now, I might be reading too much into this, but one could think that Virgil is actually pissed about being outsmarted. Now, Khan and Hunter won that fight, but in a way they lost, and they lost big. Khan was supposed to shine against Algieri. Now remember, Khan was actually trying to outperform Manny Pacquiao, which was no easy task, as Pacquiao was able to knock Algieri down 6 times and never let him out the cage. I mean, Pacquiao just from A to Z dominated Algieri in every aspect. But the real reason that Khan and Virgil Hunter took a loss, and I say lost big, was because they were supposed to get the Mayweather fight after shining against Algieri. Khan was supposed to look fantastic and even possibly stop Algieri, which would be something that Pacquiao was unable to do. Then after a great performance, Khan and Hunter were supposed to apply the pressure and force Mayweather to actually fight them. But instead, Hunter was outsmarted. Khan was unable to put on a dominating performance. I mean, hell, he almost lost the fight, which completely removed him from the Mayweather sweepstakes. Now, does Virgil Hunter hold a grudge, or did he learn from his mistakes? How is he analyzing the Kovalev versus Ward fight will play out? I mean, is he looking at it from every angle, or as Hunter just moved on and he's not really trying to get back at Jackson. He's just preparing Ward the best that he feels he can. So, I mean, it could be dangerous if Virgil is actually using Ward as a tool to get back at Jackson. But the strange thing to me is Hunter is already talking like Ward lost the fight. I mean, we heard Hunter say things like, if Ward wins this fight, he'll get no credit. I mean, is he projecting that? Is he actually predicting that Ward is going to lose? I mean, by saying that if they win, they will get no credit, is he really saying that it doesn't matter if he loses? Now, I'm not saying that that is exactly what he meant, but when preparing your top fighter for the biggest fight of his life, why would you mention him not getting credit for a victory unless defeat is already entering your mind? Now, another thing that's really strange is a lot of Ward fans, I mean supposedly very loyal Ward fans, seem to be calling this the David versus Goliath fight, which is also very weird to me. It's almost like they're anticipating a loss. I mean, when you look at this, both guys are light heavyweights. I mean, we heard Ward say after his last fight that he can barely, or it's difficult to make 175 and impossible to make 168. So that means he's a light heavyweight. I mean, he could probably cut a little more and fight at catch weights, or pull up smaller guys like Alexander Brand. But the reality of it is that Ward is a light heavyweight. and Kovalev is a light heavyweight. So to me, there is no true David versus Goliath. I mean, Ward isn't jumping up to heavyweight. I mean, he's fighting at his actual size, the division that he should be fighting at, which is light heavyweight. So to me, I mean, I can't even really understand the Ward side of things. I mean, it seems like a lot of his fans aren't even putting confidence in him. Now, for me, I believe Kovalev is going to pull it off. He's going to win. But I realize that both guys are super talented, and this is a very close fight. I mean, this fight is about as close as you can get to a true pick on 50-50 fight. I mean, some of these Ward fans already seem to be bailing on their guy. And me, I'm just looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an absolutely great fight. So, I mean, anyway, back to the coaches. What do you guys think? Will it just be a straightforward fight for Ward where he depends on his great boxing, able to, fight inside, kind of smother the punches? Or, I mean, is he going to look for that opening? We all see openings on Kovalev and actually just bite down and go for the knockout. I mean, do something completely uncharacteristic. And then we have to wonder what Kovalev and Jackson have planned. I mean, are they going to come out of left field and do something crazy? Kind of like, do something unexpected like what was done in the Algieri fight. So me, I kind of believe coaches play a significant part in fights, play a significant role. I mean, in a fight like this, granted, Ward and Kovalev are set in their ways. I mean, Ward's undefeated, so like they say, dance with the girl you took to the party. But you got to think they might try and do something tricky. And then we see Kovalev. I mean, he did really well boxing against the all-time great Bernard Hopkins. Now, I mean, I realize Bernard was nearly 50 years old, but I mean, he still gave Kovalev and Jackson an opportunity to get some really good looks and see how Kovalev will compete when in the ring with a top boxer. So I'm just thinking that Jackson is going to come up with some clever strategy. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he's going to try and implement some unconventional game plan to really confuse Ward and Hunter, catch them both off guard. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, man. Do you think that Ward is just going to come in like he always does and rely on what he's been doing since he was a teenager? Or do you think him and Hunter are going to come up with something very clever and creative? I mean, what I've been thinking is Ward's last opponents have been ridiculously easy. I mean, Barrera was a tough fight. But, I mean, do you think that Virgil, Hunter, and Ward have picked opponents that basically Ward could be blindfolded? So every camp they have is a strict camp for Kovalev. I mean, where they just completely focus on how to beat Kovalev. Then on fight night, I mean, they just fight these 39-year-old guys that are much smaller and a guaranteed victory. So anyways, I'm super excited for this fight, and I can tell everyone else is as well. I mean, they do call it the sweet science. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think about the game plan. I mean, I'm hearing everything from what you would expect. Kovalev's going to knock him out. Ward's going to get the decision. But a lot of people are saying that Kovalev's going to get the decision. So anyways, I'm just excited. Let me know what you guys think. Take care and have a great day.
Fight!